It never occurred to me for a second that I should write a risk assessment called Don't Blow Up a Fucking Star. I take my job quite seriously. I write lots and lots of risk assessments, and they're detailed, they're long. Nobody reads them. And the main thing in my risk assessment, it says, alien technology. You don't play with it. In the last 12 months alone, and this is mostly SG1, led by O'Neill with 2 L's, still tells me that every single time, they have ended up using alien technology that made them superhumans. That went badly because it then just stopped working at the worst possible moment after they basically became complete pricks for like 3 days. It was like they were drug addicts. They decided to fly an experimental aircraft without, I would argue, enough safety checks. Literally the first time O'Neill, 2 L's, and Teal'c flew it, they nearly died. We had to get help from the Tok'ra. Sam's dad, not dad, had to come and save them. But, to me, don't get me wrong, we have to experiment with this stuff and we have to practice, but, put some safety measures in. Any, really, just a couple. Check for alien devices that, commandeer the vessel and send it back home. I genuinely, this team couldn't do much more than it's done to make my life a misery. They couldn't. There's not a lot, really, O'Neill, 2 L's, Teal'c, Sam Carter, or Daniel Jackson could actually do to make my life harder. They caught us in a time loop. They went to an alien world, P4X639. They again didn't run when they're told to. Says the risk, run, don't walk. Alien technology, somewhat weird, run away. They didn't. They engaged. They messed around and they got caught in a time loop. Now, to be fair, it was Teal'c and O'Neill that really suffered with this one. But if they hadn't have solved that, we'd be stuck in that time loop forever, blissfully unaware that basically we were as good as dead. How do you write a risk assessment for that? How do you write a risk assessment for Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day, the risk assessment. What? I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, it's just. But I think this is the limit. I don't think they could do anything else to make my life any more difficult than that, at least. The Russians, they have been using the Stargate, and they went to a world that basically had water life. The water was alive, basically. They kidnapped some of those water life forms. They invaded the bodies of the Russians, and, Mayborn was involved in that. He's nearly as bad as O'Neill, 2 L's. But, it was okay in the end. But then we sent a probe and we got invaded by electronic life forms. One of them actually took over Captain Samantha Carter. Took over. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know how the science of that works. They basically separated her consciousness from her brain. I don't know how the science of that works, but it did. And again, I now have to figure out a way of preventing from that happening again. If that's the worst thing Captain Carter does this year, then that's a fine. Because, like I said, they're really making my life very hard. She blew up a fucking star. She took a Stargate, connected to a black hole. That's something I forgot dimension. Apparently, you can connect stargates to black holes. They threw that stargate into a star and blew up the star. Defeated a major Goa'uld attack threat enemy blur in the process, but blew up a star. Blew up a star. I tell them, don't mess with alien technology. They do all the time. Stick their head in it sometimes. I tell them, if something's weird, run away from it, because we keep getting just we come that close to being dead, like all the time, like every week. It's like once a week, something really bad happens. I tell them. It never occurred to me for a second that I should write a risk assessment called "Don't blow up a fucking star." She has no idea what harm that could have caused. Did we survey all the planets to make sure there was no life? No. They had a quick look. We caused a supernova. They're massive. Did we check that the star system next to it doesn't have life? Because that radiation and energy wave is going to affect more than just that solar system. Didn't check. Seemed like a good idea at the time. How do I... Seriously, I do keep doing these reports and I send them out there, and nobody is watching these reports. Nobody. If we were watching these reports, I'd be fired by now. But, you know, I'm not. I haven't even had a response. I resigned a month ago. Nobody seems to care. I just got a letter back basically saying no. It's not because I'm good at my job. I think it's because I'm the only idiot that'll do it. And I may have signed stuff to say I can't ever leave. Seemed like a good idea at the time. She blew up a star.